Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I have my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have some very interesting news around Bitcoin, but also around Ecomi. I have titled this Grail alert because it just is, and we are going to talk about it. But all of that, obviously, after the intro. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Knut. I hope you guys are doing fine. I have my coffee here, ready to go. And as you all know, we are going to talk about Bitcoin first. We are going to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin because we had seen it breaking up above this massive resistance and now just dumping back down. We are going to talk about this, obviously. We are going to talk about the SEC. We are going to talk about liquidity and the importance of the halving, and obviously about the Veve Grails. So, good morning, Motili. Good morning, Marwak, maybe GM. Smarty Pants is here. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing fine. It's the Monday. Not everyone is doing fine on Mondays, but we are getting at it as always. So let's just jump right in with Bitcoin. Just one more thing. If you are watching this after the live stream, then please make use of the timestamps if they are already there. To jump to your favorite topics if you want. Also, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor, not your financial advisor. Everything here is entertainment. Obviously, you do your own research before you ape full degen into all that altcoin stuff out there. And thank you to my rare hodlers, my channel members that are listed here behind me with their little icons. Good morning, Omicron. Good morning, Unisongs. Good morning, Trucking Hank. Yeah, good to have you here as well. Good night. Okay, good night. You watch later. That's also fine. Guys, 11 people here. Smash up the like button for me, please. Already, that would help me tremendously. So thanks for the like if you already did. If not, please do it right now. That really helps my channel and doesn't cost you a thing. Okay, so let's talk about what is going on with Bitcoin. And for that, we need to dive first into this one here, because the SEC acknowledges, not approves, acknowledges the spot Bitcoin ETF filings of Fidelity, VanEck, WisdomTree, and Invesco spot Bitcoin ETF application. And also, they did acknowledge the one of BlackRock as well. Can I put this like? Yeah, doesn't matter. On July 14th, already a couple of days ago, right? They acknowledged the spot Bitcoin ETF application submitted by all of these three that I mentioned here. This acknowledgement published on the SEC website, so very, very official. Not only someone said about it, represents significant milestone in the cryptocurrency industry's pursuit of spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund approval. Furthermore, similar acknowledgements were reported today for BlackRock, while companies like ARK Invest and Bitwise had received acknowledgements from the regulator before that. So still ARK Invest claiming that they are the first one to receive an approval if it is. So here we have the acknowledgements on the website, but the important thing is it has to do something with why the price did not go up and it dumped, in fact. Maybe we can quickly go into that, or look at that, because it's about this part here of the Bitcoin price. It's about this part. We have put in a new high that we hadn't since I don't know when, since very, very long time. And then we just dumped back down in a massive red candle to stay in that trading range, and since then, in the last 3 days, we did not move, right? So why is that? In my opinion, it is because all of these good things here are lining up for Bitcoin, and the market makers in Bitcoin, they see the longs stacking up. The longs are like, everyone is like, oh, that's so good for Bitcoin. I can't even hold myself how good that is for Bitcoin. I need to go long here because, I mean, Bitcoin ETF on its way, XRP won the lawsuit, inflation is coming down, all of these things. And everyone is like pumped as hell. So market makers, people with extensive amounts of money and a big network of whales, they are able to push into the other direction fairly easy, and they have ever done so when longs were stacking up too much to liquidate everyone before they went up. So the question is, if here a lot of longs have been stacked up, they pushed back maybe for people to close their longs, but there will be more longs stacking up here right now at this point, right? So they might be liquidating or holding the price down for a while still, until this is resolved, until they liquidated everyone. Even there could be a little bit more downside before the next push up. So that is why I'm showing you this these news here. In my opinion, that's the reason why we didn't pump. Now let's look at a little bit more here what is going on in the world, because the consumer, and now I really have to get this a little bit to the side. Unisong says 100. Yeah, consumers are starting to feel better about the US economy, and consumers feeling, what consumers perceive is that they perceive that things are changing, which makes them spend more money. So there's still a long way to go to return to pre-pandemic strength, but as inflation data has improved, so has the sentiment. Not going to dive too deep into that, but this chat thing here, okay, we are just leaving it like that. It is important because the consumers perceived having more money or having more ability to buy in the market is very crucial for economic turnaround. Omicron says, saw you live with the Omi homies the other night. You did a great job presenting your concerns to people passionate and emotional about the project. That open discourse was great though. Thanks. Thank you for that feedback. If no one knows what he's talking about, he's talking about me being on Saturday on Danny the Bull's channel together with Foster and Doctor of Stuff, and we were talking Ecomi and the CoffeeZilla situation. So that was a great talk. I really appreciated all of the angles, also the one of Foster there, because I think it's super important, as I mentioned there, to have all of these angles, and it's super important to keep a rational mind, in my opinion, which is why I'm trying to keep that stance just in the face of very little evidence for the turnaround on Ecomi. But we'll come to that a little bit later as well. But thank you for the feedback, Omicron. Means a lot to me. This one I think is important. This one is more new news in my opinion, and that is that India and the United Arab Emirates signed an agreement for trade settlement in national currencies, in rupees. That is not something little. This means that they are going without the world reserve currency. They're ditching the dollar. So India and UAE have signed promote cross-border transaction payment in using local currencies. The pact aims to enhance economic cooperation and enable the acceptance of domestic cards in both countries. So the Emirates so basically you will be able to use the countries in India domestic cards of the UAE and vice versa. So the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the UAE also includes the signing of an MOU to establish an Indian Institute of Technology campus in Abu Dhabi, showcasing strengthened bilateral ties. So we see two countries moving closer together, and building direct economic ties is not unimportant for the world development, and I think it's good if we know about it, right? Especially in the light of that they are using bilateral currencies. So very interesting development here, and in the light of that India has just declared, I don't know if you guys caught that live stream when I said that, I think it was last Friday or last Thursday, that India has declared that they're not going to participate in the BRICS gold-backed currency, right? The BRICS currency. They went out of that. Now they are doing this bilateral thing with the United Arab Emirates. They went out of that gold-backed currency because they wanted to maintain the trade relationships with the EU and the US. So it's very interesting what India is doing at the moment. Considering and keeping in mind that India has like 1 point, I don't know how many billion people. I think they overtook the China, and in the light that Binance also is now settling stuff in rupees, or is offering crypto trading in rupees directly from national banks in India. So there is a lot of stuff going on, and India coming hard into crypto would be obviously a good thing for every asset that is out there. Good morning, Jordan. Welcome to the stream. My favorite 200 million Omi mega bull. Also this one here interesting, because we have just seen that Vanguard had made a big move into Bitcoin miners. Now here's JP Morgan bringing some concern about Bitcoin miners, so let's look at it quickly. Bitcoin miners face stress test in next halving. JP Morgan says the price of Bitcoin and transaction fees will need to rise significantly to offset the lower block reward. So Bitcoin miners will face headwinds as the hash rate reaches new record highs ahead of the upcoming halving next spring, with volatile electricity costs and competition among miners pushing up the cost of production, according to analysts at global financial giant JP Morgan. And I think they all got it a little bit backwards, right? Because actually the miners are preparing for that surging Bitcoin price, and that will bring more and more miners into the space. And I think miners have been shaken out pretty harsh by suddenly surging energy prices just in the last cycle. So if you followed my streams very closely, you would see that first of all, Vanguard increased their shares in Marathon and Riot, two of the biggest miners in the world. So Vanguard isn't concerned with that. Then Riot themselves have just bought new mining equipment for 340 million roundabout US dollars. So also Riot is not at all worried about that. So if ever there could be smaller miners, but smaller miners have suffered. The miners went out of business in that bear market this time. So that is very interesting. Jordan Reese says, yeah, that was good panel. Not silent hodler. Yes, patient hodler, not silent hodler. That's it. Dasari Anirut says, I bought 1 inch USD. My position's up 15%. When should I sell? No one can tell you when you should sell, because probably most people, or I don't even know why 1 inch is up significantly at the moment. I just saw that they've jumped into the top 100, but you have to also consider, it depends also on your time frames, right? Are you like a short-term trader? Are you like, okay, I go jump out of 1 inch into another position, or are you waiting to play the big game, and you are considering that 1 inch could be going up tremendously in the next altcoin season? Fact is that altcoin's having a good time right now. This can change. but we will see. I will come back to your one inch comment though in a second here. Then I saw this first nuclear powered miner farms 6.49 million worth of Bitcoin in a single month. That is crazy. So apparently there is a Bitcoin mining company has announced it mined 6.5 million worth of Bitcoin in a single month. TeraWulf is the first 100% nuclear-powered Bitcoin mining facility in the US, located in Pennsylvania. The Nautilus Bitcoin Mining Center hosts 9,200 miners, propelling TeraWulf's average operating hash rate to the whopping 3. I don't know what that unit is. I don't know, something with hashes per second. But I think there are like gigahash and terahash, and this is like what eternal hash. I don't know, but maybe some of you know what that unit means per second. So in a recent announcement, the company details its continuing progress and scaling of the operation. So I just pulled that up because of the article before, because they said like energy costs and so on. Nuclear power is very, very cheap. So this miner here is going hard, and they are in a relatively clean energy, right, in terms of carbon. Now let's look at some Bitcoin metrics here quickly. I thought this was interesting. The 150 SMA played a very important role on the daily chart. It holds up BTC in support and resistance ways. And as you can see here, if I move camera a little bit and chat a little bit, as you can see here, we see really that once we have fallen through the 150 SMA, we bearishly retested it and then dropped down into the absolute bear market abyss and into our trough, leading to our bottom. The moment that we sliced it here, though, we flipped it and it became support. And now it is support for us, to continue our upward trend, our upward bull market. So there's a little bit more room for testing this one again, but we could also just come up like we did here. We tested it and bounced. We tested it. We are in a bounce. Maybe we are just firing up to this next line, to our targets here, right? So very interesting here, this 150 SMA acting as resistance and as support. And then this one here from TechDev, also very interesting. Basically, it's about this indicator here down below. It says here, market cap is beginning to expand with price above 20 MA after the tightest 3-week compression in history, which is this one here. In the green circle, never has the compression been on the yellow line where we are right now. So this is the tightest that we have ever gotten. Only twice before did it even come close. That was here, right after the pandemic crash, and then also here before 2016. At this point, you see here the bands. I think somewhat like the Bollinger Bands are tightening, and now here and this is the tightening score as it seems. So neither was 2019, and both began a major parabolic move. So we are even more tight than we were here. Could we head into an even heavier parabolic move than we have seen in the last cycle or in this cycle? This is the big question. But this indicator certainly says it. And then here, this is also very interesting. So there's always this discussion in the crypto space regarding liquidity and halvings. Now, some people say, hey, look, Bitcoin is not at all halving driven, it's only liquidity driven. And TechDev is making a point here. It doesn't look like it's ever been a halving, sarcastically. Clever if Satoshi tried to line it up, though. It's a liquidity cycle world that Bitcoin lives in. Now, we see here, obviously, clearly that this is sarcasm, and we see here the halvings. Yeah, start of the all-time high setting parabolic moves. Actually, yeah, actually, we see here, maybe it's not 100% sarcasm, but we see, actually, I think he means it, if I think about it right now, because we see here the DXY flipping the 20 MA, DXY flipping 20 MA. So the DXY is the dollar currency, obviously, meaning that liquidity is coming back back to the market when the DXY is dropping, but this is the high yield spread, so it's inverted, I think. And then you have here these indicators that are playing into liquidity. But I'm not quite sure, because I mean the parabolic move is coming always after the halving, so I think it is meant to be halving related. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. Also here the MACD bullish flip that we have is very interesting. And yeah, start of the all-time high getting parabolic all-time high setting of parabolic moves is in line with this DXY, and we are monitoring the DXY always. Quickly, the sum up of the recent news: Bitcoin on exchanges reaches 5-year low. Russia, 5-year low. That's pretty crazy if you consider that that a cycle is usually only 4 years. Russia suspends rupee trade with India. Russia has suspended the efforts to settle the bilateral trade, and the Arab Emirates have done it. So as we saw before, then crypto surges following a Ripple case, and Bitcoin is cleaning the environment. Not going into the environmental stuff here because of time reasons, but I'm going into the market watch here. So let's look at the market. So here we have it. So the biggest mover here in the market is 1 inch, right? So 1 inch is up 73%, and XRP is up 60%. And if we are looking at the overall market, so we are on the weekly, right? We are looking on the week. Let's get the chat quickly out of the way, get myself quickly out of the way, and look at this, how the market is moving. So we see here that a lot of coins are up between 20 and even 60 and 70%. I have not seen or not looked up why one inch is up today, but the fact is that Bitcoin is currently moving sideways, and altcoins get all the liquidity and the attention because of the XRP lawsuit. A couple of days ago, XRP lawyers won the lawsuit against the SEC, which now makes everyone think about, hey, we should be also giving a little bit of attention to the altcoins, which is happening right now. So going back to what Dasari says here, he has gone into 1 inch, and position is up 15%. Now, considering that 1 inch overall in the week is up 73%, you have only caught a part of that move. So I don't know. I cannot give you financial advice here. You need to decide for your own. But I can only say from previous experience and previous losing out on bigger profit, that it's always good to take smaller profits along the way. But obviously, this doesn't mean that this altcoin move is already over. Even here on the month, we see that 1 inch is actually up 100%. So yeah, and compound is up 169%. Bitcoin Cash, we have talked about this, why they are up in the previous streams. We see overall altcoins are having a pretty good time, and you see it here. Yeah, 1 inch is the big mover on the day, so with 40% on the day, and the rest of the altcoin market is more or less mixed. Yeah, Dasari says, I'm excited. Trade at 80% profit, stop loss, go hit. Yeah, this is also something, if it's a trade, like you can move your stop loss just higher to lock in, basically, to say, okay, I want to have at least X amount, right? X amount I want to take at least out of this trade, but then you are basically running the risk of getting liquidated on the way by a wick down and then the next pump. But not liquidated, I mean that you get stopped out, right? Anyways, let's quickly also look at this. We have been looking a little bit at XRP after this lawsuit, so I kept this in. XRP flagging out on the side. I think that move is not over yet for XRP. So yeah, Jordan says, oh, I can move back, by the way, everything that we have here. That was not it. Where's the chat box? There it is. So Jordan says, when will you buy more OMI? What's the latest SR comic you bought? So I think the answer for when I will buy more OMI I can give when we're looking at the OMI chart. The latest secret rare comic I bought was one X-Men 30 or something. I don't know which one that was. I have to look that up, actually. I will look it up later. But we're coming to good Veve stuff. It's one of the low value X-Men secret rares. Let's put it like that way. But I have like 15 now. I think I have 15 secret rare comics now. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin, because we have looked at it in the beginning, but I want to go a little bit deeper here on Bitcoin, because we have been consolidating here so much on this resistance line, and obviously it makes sense, right? If we are looking at indicators, it's pretty good. I wanted to point out this one here. So as you see here, this is the RSI, the relative strength index, and when we're looking at this, I drew this in here yesterday. We are having we are having a cool off here, hitting on a trend line, and this cooling off of this indicator and a trend line that is coming lower for Bitcoin is something we should be observing, because if you look here, for example, you have longer trend lines going down, and then you have a breakout of that trend line. You even see here like breakout, retest, and then a parabolic move on such RSI, right? So we could basically also see when is it starting to move and when will it break out. So we see here really the cool off on the daily is happening until the lower end, basically, before the parabolic moves. Also we see it here, trend line broken, parabolic move, or hard move, let's say. Parabolic not really, but hard move for Bitcoin. Overall, I think we are still, despite this little dump here in favor of altcoins, liquidity out of Bitcoin, also this is a reason, right? People have sold some Bitcoin and moved it into altcoins after the XRP lawsuit. Obviously, there is a sell-off. So these two reasons, like liquidating longs and having moved into altcoins, basically for me are the reasons why we have not been breaking up right now. Now the overall chart pattern is intact. The cup and handle breakout is more or less on the verge here, and we have still our target since I don't know, weeks yet now already here for the uptrend, and we have marked also in here right now our bottom and our last top. But I think once we are breaking out, we should be coming up to this price target here. We'll see if it's going to happen. Desari says Bitcoin Cash downtrend seems to be starting in daily chart. I'm planning to shorting it on the chart. What are your thoughts on it? It could be a very good move. because the reason that Bitcoin Cash has pumped so heavy is that it has been launched on this exchange, on the DEX, or what is it called, like the Charles Schwab plus some other institution exchange. So it could be a good move there, because I think once this is out of the news, this listing and like excitement has been settled, it could be just trickling down, coming down. So it could happen, but always be careful with this. Like, guys, in general, I really can't stress this enough. Be careful with all this stuff, like leveraging, and so shorting is fine, obviously, right, if you know what you're doing, but not everyone is made for trading. I think I'm not made for trading, because it's just too much mental stress, right? So I buy, I hold, maybe somewhere I sell. Yes, then I have made a very big time frame sell, but I'm not a trader, and certainly not a day trader. But sorry, in general, I think the idea, like the thought behind it, based on this fundamental that I just mentioned, could be cool. Just one more thing here. So this is what Stock Money Lizard put out about the current about how Bitcoin looks like and what it is. So they're basically saying that this is going to happen in the short term, which would line up with our breakout, right? Yeah, and as Jordan Rees says, don't remortgage your house for crypto, or not even twice, if you know what I mean. I'm absolutely not supporting that, but I really hope that this turns out insanely good for you, Jordan. Let's look at the DXY quickly. So as you can see here, I want to refresh that because it is not up to date. Now it's up to date. So as we can see here, DXY fell off a cliff, and we have been asking ourselves, so we have always seen the correlation, right, that Bitcoin is pumping when the DXY is dropping. Right now, Bitcoin hasn't been pumping, although liquidity has been flowing into the market, as we also saw on this tech diff sheet there. This here didn't have the effect as we wanted at the moment, or did it? Because if you're looking at this, crypto has been benefiting from the market, and there is a lesson learned in this, because we see, DXY collapses and money is flowing into risk on assets. Usually the flow of capital is that it flows first into Bitcoin and then into the altcoins. But right here, somewhere here, we had our decision about XRP. So that liquidity directly flew into the altcoins right now. That liquidity just pumped directly into XRP and all of the altcoins, and basically only a little bit into Bitcoin, where profit has been taken on. So Bitcoin wanted to pump, but it didn't. So we can learn from that we also have to see, is there something happening that could basically make all of the liquidity focusing on something else than Bitcoin. And that is in my opinion what has been happening here. But that also means that this could be like a delayed pump could be coming, because if people have been taken, and they have clearly, look at this, we are back in XRP right now for the second, like some people have been taking profits here on the top. I don't know why this is always happening, why they do not let me paint. So here at the top, we saw people were taking extensive profits on XRP, right? So this profit money is going into something. Now maybe some has gone into 1 inch or into I don't know what, right, on the daily, but overall, profit is being taken and going and put back into BTC. So that's where we are, in my opinion, at the moment with the liquidity here in the market. So DXY falling off a cliff. I have been saying we could be coming up here and test this and come back down from there, continue to fall. I expect this to happen. Coming up a little bit, I said it on Friday that I expect this to happen. We have a little bit of green here, which is why Bitcoin is not moving at the moment, but this one here, this flew all into altcoins. Okay. Bitcoin dominance also still falling. You see it here. Bitcoin dominance is still red, but I think the most likely scenario is that we are either coming closer, and again I cannot paint, that we are even coming closer to this trend line, right? Or we are just, I think we could be moving sideways towards the trend line like we did here. But overall, I think Bitcoin is going to bounce. And actually, if we say worst case scenario for the next Bitcoin bounce would be 20 days. If we were to move sideways here, we should have some 20 days to hit that trend line and continue our run on Bitcoin. So, and the cool thing is here, guys, if you want to know how altcoin season, where also Ecomi is benefiting, looks like, then look at this tiny dump in Bitcoin dominance and look at what it did with the market on altcoins. Yeah, these things here, this is nothing compared to what's going to happen once Bitcoin dominance is falling through this trend line and going down. One is like up 20% or so. Once this is happening, and we are going to rise way more before, but once this is happening, you see that this little tiny drop here in Bitcoin dominance is not going to be a big deal, right? So overall market cap is flagging out right now of the altcoins. Not going into that one. Let's go into Ecomi. Let's look at Ecomi. So it's very, very interesting what Ecomi is doing, because with the XRP news, you should expect that people should be more bullish on Ecomi, right? So here we are in the daily chart. I just have to open the MACD a little bit because that one is invisible. And actually we have been a little bit in a bullish MACD, but we have been flipping bearish here right now in the MACD. The stochastic RSI is still coming down. We are somewhere in the middle for the RSI, so no signs of really that we are overbought or so. Now, to answer Jordan's question, when I'm going to buy more OMI, probably when we are having like a bearish move here in the MACD, when we have the stochastic RSI coming lower, when we have when we are going with the RSI into an overbought, oversold territory. But right now, what is really interesting to me is we have drawn in this wedge, and we have drawn it in somewhere, I think when we were around here. And it's funny because all the peaks above, every sale outside of this, or every movement outside of this big wedge line here has been sold off just to stay in line. So you see it here. Even this now looks like to me that we are just getting rejected on that line and moving down from here. So it seems that right now price action is actually respecting this for Ecomi. So how could this look like? We don't know yet, but let's look at this here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 touches, maybe coming down to another one. We don't know, but I will surely wait until I know more here, right? So this is why I'm still waiting. Unisong says 1-inch 20% up, Sushi 16% up, opening a small long position on Uniswap, which is only 6% up and looking good on the 4-hour chart. Congratulations, and I hope that one plays out for you very well. But let's move into NFTs quickly. By the way, I saw this here, and it's not on Veve, but you can buy the Flash as an NFT just weeks after hitting the theaters, and this will be on Illuvio, not Illuvium, but Illuvio. Never heard of this, by the way, but this means that the first appearance of the Flash is probably on the blockchain before it hits Veve, just that you are aware when it's then coming. Or actually, is it? We have the Flash in a statue, right? In a battle statue. Isn't that the Flash? I think so. We have the Flash in a battle statue. Is that correct? So it's not the first appearance then. Then it's on Veve. I think there's a Superman versus the Flash running battle statue. I just remembered this right now. But we are going to look at Veve being ready for San Diego ComicCon. So on the 20th of July, right now in 3 days, ComicCon is starting, and we have received the drop announcements here. So I'm going into this here right now. I will be doing it without sound because they have put sound under it that probably gets me demonetized again. And it's super cool. Like the sound gets you excited and so on, but we're just looking at the drops here because of that. So the first one is a poster with a 60 happy birthday Avenger cake. I'm not going for that, but some people will be very Avenger, like they want to have that. Maybe it's going to be very scarce, we don't know. So that is the first drop, not too exciting there. Then we have the Adam Warlock here, which is a Marvel Mighty, but not the only Marvel Mighty, as we are going to see in the future. So we have here Thursday, 20th of July, 8 a.m. PT is going to drop Adam Warlock Marvel Mighty Secret Rare. Then we'll have this comic, which we don't know the scarcity yet. Uncanny X-Men 137, The Death of the Phoenix, with, it seems, I'm not quite sure if these are I think, yeah, this is the exclusive covers. I think I'm going for that. If that's 7,500 or below editions, 10,000, I will have to see how the real life value is. But comics always for me stuff to go for. So I think that is a cool comic. And then this one here, I mean, Spider-Ham. I think that's something. It's so funny. So probably I'm going for that as well. Depends on the price though. But this is super funny. So the Spider-Ham looks very good. And then we have this one here, Iron Man collectible. Oh my god. So this is the biggest one of them. We know that the first appearance of Iron Man is already out with the Disney Golden Moment Iron Man statue. I have that one. I have the full set with the Avengers A. I have that one, but I want this one as well. So I'm going for this one as well, even though it's not an FA, but it's absolutely fire. It's animated, it's very good looking. They did a very good job on this, in my opinion. So I think this is going to be the drop that I'm most excited of from all of them. These in the video, I think. Now this always happens. If you click somewhere, they're like putting back the sound on Twitter. So here we go. We have this battle ready stance here. We have the fire coming out, and yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, this Iron Man is looking so good. And it seems that this Iron Man is only coming out as one specific animated version without any other variants, apparently. So that will make people go for it even more. But the real banger NFT is actually this one, which wasn't in the video, because we are going to get Stan Lee collectibles. So Stan Lee was a true pioneer in the comic book industry whose work transcended generations, making him larger than life cultural icon. For 4 chibi-style digital collectibles drop in blind box waitlist format on Tuesday, the 18th of July. So it's already starting tomorrow with the Stan Lee drop. And obviously, I'm going for it. Some people are saying that it would be as big as the Walt Disney statue, the partner statue. And yes, Stan Lee, I mean, and also this collectible is looking very good. I think they have decided to make the collectible in the chibi style because they didn't want to fuck his face up, so probably that's the reason, I don't know. But so a lot of people are very, very excited about this collectible here, and the waitlist drop is highly contested. So I have still not won a single waitlist drop that I wanted. I'm 0.5, so maybe that's the time. Tomorrow, Stan Lee. We don't know actually what his, probably we don't know yet what his scarcity is. But we can look if they have already posted something about this during the night. That we don't know, but I'm super excited about this one. So no, they didn't. Still the last post here. They have though commented a little bit, I think. Yeah, no, but that's it. So there's no comments on this yet. So we see here Stan Lee. So it's absolute Grail alert, guys. Smash up the like button for these amazing Grails here. It's absolute Grail alert in my opinion, because we have the Iron Man, we have the Stan Lee coming up, and usually there are some other things being announced during San Diego Comic-Con, during these events, that could be very, very bullish, that could be exciting. So I'm really looking forward to this one. But overall, I think in general we see at the moment that prices are coming down in the Veve app, right? Because cash out is being re-enabled. Some people want to take profits, obviously also to write the... I just logged in on the site and I got my level up on MCP, boys. So I don't know if you can see that. I'll go full cam quickly. So here we go. I have the level up on on MCP. You cannot do anything with the MCP points, but I'm level 40 right now. So I did hit level 40 just now. I have, by the way, over 500 collectibles now. I did see that. So here we go. Just so you can see. That is my points, my so you see here 369 comics and 136 collectibles and only 23 sets. Obviously comics, full comics don't give sets, unfortunately. I have, from some comics, I have every rarity, and then some rarities even double, but unfortunately you do not get any sets or any things for that. I've recently also shown that the secret rares that I bought. So yeah, one of the newest secret rares is this one here, the white cover one, here, the Fantastic Four that I bought. I really like this cover. I really dig that cover. So yeah, there are some secret rares here in my collection. But overall, yeah, I'm bullish. I'm continuing to be bullish on the secret rare comics. Haven't sold a bit on these. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have 14 secret rare comics. So not 15, but 14. So should be 15 in a couple of weeks or so. From time to time, I buy some Secret Rare comics, and if people want to sell them even cheaper now because of cash out, yeah, be my guest. I'll take I take them if I can, according to my financial capabilities, obviously, right? So yeah, that is going on. So bullish on Iron Man, and Iron Man, I think, is from the past movies like the Tony Stark and so on. It's like one of people's favorite character. Was such a cool character, and yeah, he, like, Iron Man is representing this techie modern hero. Like so many people said, like Elon Musk is somewhat a Tony Stark, right? Everyone is picturing Elon Musk like working on that. On these technological things somewhere in like a futuristic looking house and so on. So the stars of our age are the tech guys that are really building amazing stuff, right? And Tony Stark was representing, or Iron Man was representing that. So yeah, I think that these collectibles are really a go for, and then depending on scarcity, some of the other things could be also a go for. But yeah, I don't know if we will have regular drop announcements also besides the ComicCon announcement. So will we have, besides that, also other comics and drops being announced, or will it just be that? That is a big question. And obviously, if you see here, last time, so this is from the last time, ComicCon was actually a big success. So if you haven't been around here during the last time, which probably not many people are, but if you haven't been, this was what was going on at the ComicCon last time at Marvel and Veve. We saw here the Marvel Mighties. We saw a lot of cosplay here. We and Veve is together there with the Marvel booth once again. So yeah, for everyone who's saying that these brands, they will not like how Veve is acting, it's not true. It's not true. They are the brands are going with Veve here. Veve is making them good money. Veve is connecting their fan base to Marvel and vice versa. So I think a lot of people have been brought into Marvel by Veve, actually. People that have never been collecting Marvel stuff before are now excited about almost every comic drop, have been very, very excited. I will never forget this feeling of the first comics that ever came out, what brought me into the Veve app. That excitement, I think I've been scanning and flipping and I don't know what and buying in the market on the first 5-6 comics, like 6, 7, 8 hours a day I was in the app, just looking at the market. So yeah, so yeah, overall something very very good. Guys, do me a favor, smash up the like button if you enjoy these morning streams and discussing everything around Bitcoin and altcoins and the markets and liquidity, and also Ecomi and Veve. If you haven't seen it yet, I have posted a video on Saturday where I outline how I think and where I think the next Bitcoin, the next NFT bull run is coming, and why Veve is going to be one of the biggest players in this next NFT bull run. I have made this video over the past days. I've posted it on Saturday. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely you have to watch it if you are into Veve and Ecomi, or specifically about Veve in this one because of the NFTs. But yeah, I think I've put a lot of effort into that video, so hopefully you guys like it. And I think that's it for today, guys. Yeah, I'll end the stream here. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button, to subscribe to my channel, tap the little bell to always get notified whenever I upload videos and live streams. I catch you tomorrow at Crypto Morning Coffee. And yeah, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see